Revelation in Motion 20. Deaf, dumb, blind. When arrogance shuts every door. In pre-Islamic Arabia, power meant being loud, heard, and obeyed. Listening was weakness. Speaking with humility was lowly. Reflecting before reacting, that was not the norm. Arrogance had no cost and no name. So when someone refused to see truth or hear advice, it wasn't a moral failure. It was confidence, pride, strength. No one labeled it a disease of the soul. There was no sacred language for willful ignorance. Then came a verse like this, blunt, shocking, and hard to ignore. Allah says, deaf, dumb, and blind, so they will not return. The Quran didn't just describe physical conditions, it diagnosed a spiritual one. Deaf, not physically, but unwilling to hear. Dumb, not incapable of speech, but unwilling to speak the truth. Blind, not lacking eyes, but refusing to see. And the worst part? They will not return. Because arrogance isn't just a detour, it's a locked door. This verse wasn't name-calling, it was soul-mapping. It described the spiritual state of someone who chose not to listen, not to reflect, not to seek, and by doing so, cut off the very path back to light. We live in a noisy age, but not necessarily a listening one. Everyone has something to say, few have the patience to listen. Algorithms feed our opinions back to us. Pride is disguised as principle, and slowly we stop hearing anything that might challenge us. We mute truth with noise. We silence our conscience with slogans. We refuse to see anything that might demand change. And like the ones this verse speaks of, we become deaf, dumb, and blind. By choice, not by fate. Am I really open to truth, even if it shakes me? Do I still listen, or do I only react? Do I dismiss certain messages, not because they're false, but because they're uncomfortable? This verse is not about others. It's a mirror to hold against ourselves. Because spiritual arrogance doesn't announce itself. It creeps in, quietly, until you can't hear what you don't want to hear, can't say what you're afraid to admit, and can't see what you've chosen to ignore. If that's not blindness, what is? So return before you no longer can. Reopen your ears, free your tongue, clear your sight. Because arrogance builds walls, but humility opens doors.